Hello, I'm MrPhilipBecker, and in this video I show you how I built this big storage rack, which holds 27 of these boxes. It's made completely out of steel, and even though it was quite a lot of work, it was a good way for me to practice welding and improving my skills. I mean, to make this thing I laid almost 300 welds, so let's get started. Most of my shop stuff is stored and organized in these boxes, or bins, whatever you want to call it. They are cheap, relatively sturdy, and I can get them at my local hardware store. I store my life in them. But I need a more efficient way of storing them than stacking them onto each other in this cheap shelf. A couple of years ago, Laura Kampf made a storage system for similar but smaller sized boxes. So I'm going to use her idea and make a bigger version. First step was to design the storage rack in SolidWorks. If you want to know more about this step, I have a video where I make a walkthrough of my CAD model. Link is in the description box. With everything planned out, I could start working. After cutting all the parts to size, I could start with the 4 frames that make up the sides. It was easier to first tack weld the 2 short sides to one long side, check for squareness, then attach the second long side again with tack welds, and then did the full welds. I alternated the corners after each seam, so I didn't get too much sheet in one place. This helped to keep the frame square and relatively flat. I used L profiles as rails for the boxes. It is crucial that the distance between the rails is the same throughout. So I made a simple jig out of 80mm plywood to help me with this. Let's talk about this jig real quick. It's made out of 80mm batch plywood, which I got from my scrap bin. It's really easy to work with for me, and it's really sturdy, so it was a good choice for materials. I can work with it on my table saw, so I can get really parallel sides, especially on the long side, which is very important because these sides are the ones that need to be absolutely parallel, and working on the table saw I can make sure of that. Okay, so dimensions. The jig is the width of the side frames, which is 400mm. The height of the jig is from the top side of the lower rail to the bottom side of the top rail. I also made a recess here, so the jig fits over the shoulder of the bottom rail. Okay, now a bit to order of operations. I fit the shelf over the lower rail and clamped the top rail parallel to the lower rail to each other. Next is the most important feature of this jig. That are these notched corners. This way I can reach all the welding spots while everything is still clamped into place. This way I can spread the heat around between all the corners. And I can tack weld everything into place first, keep everything still clamped so nothing moves when I add the heat while I'm welding everything. Especially important between the top and bottom side, so everything stays flat against the side frame. Thanks to the jig, I could focus on getting good welds and not worry so much about the alignment of each rail. So next was to bring the sides together, again going one step after another. I positioned the connection piece on one side, held it in place with magnets and tack welded it. I offset the connection piece a little bit to the inside, so I didn't lay new welds on top of the existing ones from the side frame. Did this for all 4 connection pieces. Put the corresponding side frame on the workbench and place the frame I just welded on top of it, so I don't have to weld overhead. As the side frames weren't 100% flat and the connection pieces probably no perfect 90 degree, I did one corner after another. The first corner was positioned just with magnets and tack welded in place. This acted kind of like an anchor, and I could force the opposite connection piece in place with clamps and a hammer and tack weld it as well. Did this for all 4 connection pieces before laying down the full welds on all sides. Built 2 towers consisting of 2 sides each, and then I connected the 2 towers the same way as I did with the side frames. Only difference here, the towers were heavier, and once connected the whole rack would be even heavier, and as I didn't want to get crushed by it, it worked on the floor and not my workbench. I also welded 6 nuts to the bottom, so I could use hex head screws to level the whole rack. After that, it was finally time to paint everything. I knocked down the sharp corners of the L profiles and grinded all the welds flat that I could reach with my angle grinder. I applied 1 coat of metal primer, 2 coats of white paint, and as the final layer, 1 clear coat.
Back to the basics, been a lot of things, but I never been basic. Run around bases, came from the basement, never been shameless. So I got stay in the streets, get dangerous, so I might bang it. Don't like hanging unless you family, please don't claim it. Like what you claiming, what you saying, what you bout and what you need. I'm at the house, ain't at the club, I'm really chilling with my seed. I love my poppy, put me on, I'm really chilling with OGs. Don't test my gangster, think I'm me, we gon' Tryna be here for a while in a good time, but we ain't stressed out, just good wine. When I look in the mirror, yeah, I look fine. Good people, times and good wine.
Okay, to answer a couple of questions. This thing is 2 meters high. I could have made it higher, but the standard shipping length in Germany is 2 meters. I could have got longer material, but the shipping costs would have risen quite significantly, so I decided against it. If I made it higher, it's going to get harder to reach the top bins. So even though they are filled with very light stuff at the moment, it can get dangerous, so I decided against it again. Also, I can use the space above for deep storage. I'm going to add like a board on top of it and screw it down, so it's getting a bit easier to store, but at the moment it works fine. Yeah, deep storage above it. I have plans for this rack on my website for free. You can download them on the link down below. I made the plans for the bins I use from my local hardware store, but you can adjust these the plans for the bins that you use, which you can find on your local hardware store or even IKEA. You could also make it wider by adding more sections to it. I'm going to have a section added part in the plans. You can do that to hold more boxes, 9 for each section, so you can hold more than 27 if you need to. And yeah, this is a bit for inspiration, so get creative, the possibilities are endless. Yeah, that was it. If you don't want to miss any future videos, subscribe to my channel, maybe activate the bell. All that's I have to say is, thank you guys for watching and see you in the next one. And for my German folks hier, ich benutze die Kisten Regalux Clearbox XS vom Bauhaus. Mit Deckel liegen die so bei 4,50 €. Wenn ihr aber 10 Stück auf einmal kauft, kriegt ihr einen kleinen Nachlass. Also ich kaufe die meistens im 10er-Pack. Ist nicht gesponsert vom Bauhaus, die habe ich alle mit meinem eigenen Geld bezahlt. Ja, viel Spaß beim Bauen. Ich hasse es, wenn die Sicherung draußen fliegt.